Hey, what's up fam? It's Fergie for Reals. Welcome back to another video, and today we're playing another multiplayer round. Starting off a hole 1, we're at Frozen Valley. Here I'm throwing the Glide Sapphire, keeping it as straight as possible with the left to right, and threw it really well. So, tapping out for the birdie. On to hole number 2. This hole for me is actually pretty tricky. I usually try to go with the musket with the roll attribute, and in the Pro Tour, I didn't throw a really good shot at all. Threw it in the water, but this time, I actually threw quite well. This is my ideal shot for me. And, yeah, so have about right at 100 feet almost for the throw-in. Decided to go with the EMAC Judge. Been really loving that thing right now for a lot of my putter, like throw-ins and stuff like that from shorter distances. On this hole, I struggle a lot with the tee shot. I tend to collide with the trees or just not giving enough turn. And this time, I didn't give it enough turn. But I fought through a little bit. And right here on this upshot, so I'm about 210 feet left. I could just go explore around, but right here I decided to try to go with the forehand on the Claymore down the center gap here. And I put a little too much turn on it, and I think it was going to go over top either way, so it didn't really matter. But I have a favorable kick here, and just tapping out for the birdie, so I say it's a decent start, not too bad. It could be worse, but I say it's pretty good. And onto Lakeside. You're here throwing the musket as the layup shot, especially with that headwind. Now we have the perfect distance for me on the upshot, because around the 230, 235 range, the Glide Claymore on a backhand is perfect. But this time, I got a little bit to the left side with that 3 right to left, so, but it's still easy birdie. And onto this hole. This is pretty easy routine. With this headwind, I decided to go with the forehand on the light glide drive. I find it to work pretty well, and absolutely parked it. Easy eagle. And onto the hole number 6. This one, it can be tricky at times, but that's coming up in the next upshot. This shot right here, pretty routine. I like to go with the Explorer no matter the wind on the layup shot. And with the 2 right to left, see, I wanted to get it a little bit wider for right here. This is a little too left for me. Still stuck to the ground, thankfully. But I find that aiming a little bit more to the right is a little bit better for me personally. And yeah, I got the eagle there. So off to a really nice round so far. And this hole, off to Coyote Canyon, on the tee shot, I actually try to go for it. Try to get as much distance as possible. And this actually looked like a really nice shot, but it was just a tad bit left, which hit this rock here. But still very solid. This is a really nice shot. And I should have, yeah, 240 left, so I'm not really familiar with being up this far, to be honest with you. So I tried using the glide musket, and I got a little low, a little too much turn. But still an easy birdie, though. Not too bad. And just like so. Okay, so I'm, wait, 9 down? I'm not sure, but here is the Sapphire here for this hole. This one's pretty routine. And I swear, one of these days, see, sometimes I'll just ramp it off that rock and do that. One of these days, I'm going to ace it that way. I just haven't done it yet, but the time will come. All right, and on to the last hole. Of course, pretty tricky hole, especially with this wind. But with this wind, I find that just aiming it lower doesn't really do anything. Like, the wind doesn't really affect it as much. That's what I noticed with disc and stuff. When you aim lower, the wind doesn't affect it as much for me. And as you can see, I made good ground here, 65-footer, and just tap it in. So I believe this is rated 1142. But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. See you guys.